coming up next, we have a pretty cool performance there. Poet Michael Cobb. Songwriter Zach Dufresne. And they'll both be performing to artwork by B.B. Wood. All right, so here we go.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for being here this evening. We know that you have plenty of other distractions in your life and we hope to create an oasis for you. I will be reading my original poetry paired with Regan's artwork, and it will be interpreted by Zach on the spot. There's been very little preparation for this other than just a spark of an idea to bring a fusion of art, poetry, and music all together. I'd like to go ahead and thank Moses for putting Heaven and Hell together, and Whitney and Anelas for giving us this awesome space to just be together as an arts community. I would strongly suggest that you support Anelas so they can continue to allow us to be here in some form or fashion, whether it's just word of mouth or an actual purchase. I highly recommend the lemonade. It's darn good. All right, Zach, Regan, go ahead.
Hey, I just wanted to thank everybody for coming, and I also want to thank Michael and Zach for letting me put myself up in front, because kind of as an artist, you're always fighting for inspiration anywhere you can get it, and all artists feel the same way, I'm sure. But as a painter, specifically, you kind of hang yourself up on a wall and you never see how people react to it. So it's good to see the crowd and feel the energy from it. So I just want to thank y'all and thank him. And I didn't read. He gave me copies of his poems, but I didn't read them because I wanted to experience this for the first time too. I have no idea how he interprets my art, but yeah. So I'm stoked.
All right. Zach Dufresne, everybody. Cautiously shun what I have unwittingly done. I must overwhelmingly relieve my selfish reprieve. I must wonder why I still crave to die. I must stop this binge and put down my sugar-coated syringe. I must discontinue my painful pursuit and show myself to be unresolving and resolute. I must draw upon my fleeing faith before I give in to my corrupting closet wraith. I must owe my deceitful debt another long elliptical round of fret. I must want to transform into what I foresee, or I I shall cease existing to be. I must overcome what I horrendously hate and become that of my harmonious fate. I must cower in my purposeless guilt, whilst I reconstruct what I have so compassionately built. I must live in broken solitude, whilst I strive to save a positive attitude. I must sing morose melodies of my heart's hurt, whilst dripping in my blood-soaked shirt. I must feel his sadness of my corrupted state, whilst I suffocate in my moping madness of late. I must place my mind's derangement onto its soulless shelf and heal the wounds caused by my rampaging self. I must prolong my inevitable diseased death so I can suffer one more last unbearable breath. I must try to forgive my inept perfections, whilst I rearrange my emotionless affections. I must live out my shameful faults without sinning in listless revolts. I must seem conversely unclear to conspire against my core of friends' influential sphere. I must correct my outsized, capsized ego upright before I sink soundless out of sight. I must forgive my fleeting lust in order to regain my tortured trust. I must be in such detestable of a state of wanting, because I am always for longing. I must accept the sacrificed lamb and reprogram who I am. Thank you, Zach. Of course. Thank you, Bregan. After the performance, I'll be more than happy to give away each copy that I'm reading to whoever wants it. Signed, of course, too, and no charge. Solitude. In sophisticated utterances of nonchalant chants, I intertwine soft touches of ambiguity on my cardinal recants, sewing into each non-rhythmical lyric a soft caress carefully, covertly caught into a web of intricate madness tearfully. I wander aimlessly, unapparent in my ceaseless thoughts of the day, whence, without honor, I find myself utterly lost, smoldering in my own play. I am no sad sob story, or cached, cliched, clairvoyant passage, or even a meaningless moray. I have only my inept senses of morale, naught driven more or less into decay. I know not where I aspire under the tides of burning rangeless lust, only that of the course assigned asininely thoughts headed heedlessly under the dust. I am saved from eternal despair without more assurance, but why do I do what I do for my own inner gratification, if only so simply for an escape of a sigh? I cannot cry a foul, for I am the losing foil without feeding fancy-filled fortitude. I suffer no indignity save for lost grace and a not disparate attitude. I know why the crow cowers in infamy when I approach myself in thought. I am not the reflection given now that I am returned from whom I formerly sought. I waste not my sorrow, for it gives no sense of rational being. My lack of grief unsets the dawning of selfless, dutiful dubiousness without keen, full seeing. No discouragement is forthwith sought, as I know my inner crime remains stained. I feel my outer self turned inward retrospectively, as though I were tragically, lamefully shamed. In finding solitude for my odious self, I fall flaying foolishly, grasping and groping. I embrace the distant reality of my dastardly, dissatisfied, aimless actions, sans moping. I am no courageous coward, but an ill-hurt, homely reprobate, a fatally flawed, cruel character. I've dealt death to my former box of evil mischief, but lost my saintly soul in this latest life chapter. I've sought verity in myself and painfully shaved my robust, desire-filled drive intense and discreetly. I have changed not, nor outphased any wanton emotion for my sacral sanctity concretely. All is well, right? I ponder piteously, imbibing in self-doubt. Only God's tameless time, and with amplified ears, will I hear the horn of honesty restored. So shout.